past. Fraud now accounts for over 40% of all crimes against individuals in England and Wales, making it the most prevalent crime, and the fraudsters are getting ever more creative. In 2024, industry figures showed that criminals successfully stole £1.2 billion from individuals through banking, fraud and scams. But this could be the tip of the iceberg, as fraud is widely underreported. I spoke to Matt Cook from cybersecurity company Proofpoint a bit earlier and asked him to explain just how the scammers do it.
It's actually really easy to create content like that. You can just upload a couple of samples of yourself, maybe a video, some audio, and the tools will just go off and do it for you. They don't really need a lot of information anymore. Don't need a lot of background, a lot of history. They can just take little snippets and create videos like this that look real.
So how concerning is that then? How concerned are you as your company about the potential of technologies like this opening us up to fraudulent behaviour?
Yeah, I mean, it's a big opportunity, unfortunately, for scammers, for people to take advantage of. And in the same way that when things in the world change, it always opens up opportunities that people do look to take advantage of. And in this case, it's a very big opportunity, right? Scammers, criminals can start to create deep fakes and start to use them to take advantage of us, because it challenges kind of our understanding of trust, right? We always kind of know that, well, we shouldn't necessarily believe everything that we read, but we always trusted our eyes and we trusted our ears. But unfortunately, we're in a situation now where maybe we should be starting to question those as well, because there will be scenarios that we will run into. We'll see it happen more and more. It's not massively common right now, but it is starting to happen more and more, where people are looking to use this technology to take advantage of us.
And what I would be most worried about when it comes to something like this is that a lot of the control is taken away from you. So if someone decides to make a video of you, Matt, or me, there's nothing really I can do. Once they've managed to make it, it's out there.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And that's one of the challenges, I guess, that we're kind of all faced with all of our personal information as well. In fact, everything that we do online, once that information is out there, people can then use that, and it can be used in a number of different ways. But we can't live our lives in fear that someone's going to take a photo of me and then turn it into an AI video and pump it out somewhere else. What we need to do is look at this perhaps the other way around and say, actually, we all now just need to express that little bit of caution when we're looking at some of the content online and thinking, actually, is that real? Just because it's Matt, just because it looks like Matt, is that normal? Is that the sort of thing that he would normally say, the way he would normally act? Is this a little bit unexpected? Maybe I should question it and look for other ways to verify it.
Is there any onus on the tech sector to do anything to control or limit the use of their technologies, I guess, to head off any of this potential misuse, illegal misuse?
Yeah, I think there is a little bit. I mean, certainly, obviously AI is a fantastic thing. It's a fantastic innovation. It's driving us forward in so many ways in society and in the world as a whole. But obviously we've released it out into the world, and we perhaps never really thought through all the ways that people could take advantage of it and use it against us. And so, yeah, there is some responsibility on some of the tech companies to say, actually, are there ways that we can kind of control this? But, unfortunately, it's already happened. People are already out there and they're taking advantage of it. So we're looking at ways now that, okay, how can we address it? And there's some really good activity actually going on to say, now, are there ways that we can actually tag content on so that we know that this has been AI generated? And a lot of the larger tech companies are kind of getting together to actually use some of these standards that are coming through that allow the content itself to be tagged so it can be easily identified. But of course, that relies on everyone tagging the content. It relies on everyone checking. And these are technical challenges that we're going to have to solve over time. And so right now, the solution for everyone really is actually it's on us. We're going to have to take this one and try and actually work out, do we actually really think it's real? And we can't just rely on the tech companies in this case. We have to consider the risks involved.
It's good to hear that tech companies are coming together to try and stop these technologies and systems opening us up to all sorts, but especially because fraudsters move very fast these days, and they're always, or it seems like they're always coming up with new ways to mislead us. And just as you get to grips with one particular fraudulent behaviour, another one seems to have been created.
Yeah, and of course, there's nothing new there, right? Because that's happened in the world at large as things change. If you think about, just crime on the streets, I guess, if you're walking down the street, perhaps 5-10 years ago, it wasn't conceivable that someone might come along and snatch your phone out of your hand on an electric bike and zoom off into the sunset, so you'll never see it again. But of course, a few things changed there. One is that we're always using our phones walking down the street, and the other is, electric bikes came along. And so, of course, people are looking to exploit the vulnerabilities with the opportunities that are presented to them. And exactly the same is applied to AI as well. And, of course, it will be the next thing that comes along. The same thing will happen. The vulnerabilities will exist. People will look to take advantage of it. But ultimately, what they're really looking to take advantage of is our vulnerabilities. They're looking for ways to actually scam us and probably, go for our money, which is what the ultimate end game is. This is just another tool for them to use against us.
Phone scamming, email, WhatsApp scams, phishing with a PH, spear phishing. I mean, what's next? What do you think the next big problem could be?
Wow. If I knew that, I'd be looking to try and solve it before it was a problem,
yes.
Definitely,
yeah.
for sure. But there are lots of things on the rise. We know that the use of deepfake technology, and not just video, but also audio, is on the increase as well. We hear examples of people getting phone calls in their home, thinking it's from either a relative or a friend, and actually it turns out it's not. It's deepfake generated. So that's a challenge, and so we need to be on our guard for that. We need to be looking out for things like that. A good way perhaps that we can even do that, certainly with your family. If you get a phone call out of the blue and you think it's a family in distress and you want to jump to help them, maybe you've got a safe word that you can just that you've shared in advance with them, so that you can just verify and make sure that it's the person on the other end. So, there's lots of little tips and tricks that we can apply to try and avoid it, but certainly we need to keep an eye out for this use of deepfake technology, both on the phone but also online as well, in videos as well.
Just finally, over £1 billion stolen in 2024, but that's probably an underestimate. Is there a way to take the shame out of being conned?
First of all, there is no shame in it, right? Because it can happen to absolutely anyone. I think it's highly likely that we'll all come up against this scenario at some point in our lifetimes, just because of the sheer volume of the activity that's happening out there. So what we need to do is we kind of need to normalise the awareness around it. We've talked about sort of security awareness and trying to share the information so that people can kind of learn from it. But I think we need to go a little bit further and actually appreciate that we all learn in different ways, and that we probably, certainly as we get older, it's much easier to get our education in familiar environments as well. So being able to have conversations about these types of scams and these experiences with people, with your friends and with everyone, just share that information, and then it becomes a little bit normal. By talking about it, we become much more aware of it, and of course then we're perhaps more on guard to it, and we can deal with it when it becomes, a problem for us. So yeah, absolutely. There's no shame in it whatsoever. And in fact, the more we talk about it, the better situation we'll all be in. It's almost like a collective kind of responsibility that we've all got here.
Thank you very much to Matt Cook, who was speaking to me a little bit earlier.